If you're like me, you've probably got a story idea for a huge space opera with different civilizations and eras and magic systems and, of course, time travel. But let me tell you the best advice I received when I started writing fiction. Don't write that book. Yes, the best writing advice I ever received is don't write. It came from my friend Lance Schaubert, and he wasn't talking to me specifically. I think I read it on his blog, and we weren't even friends yet, but it resonated with me. His advice wasn't to never write that book. The full advice was to not start my writing career with a story that big. He said to start with something small. So I did, and he was right. Enter the Rose Weapon. This was way back in 2016, and I had written a handful of short stories and was ready to try my hand at something a little bit longer. And so, for my first book, I decided to write a small, familiar story, adding my own twist to it, and using the tried and true hero's journey outline. And by doing this, I made sure that there was never more than two people in the scene at the same time. I had a hard enough time trying to figure out how to write dialogue between two people that trying to balance a group conversation would have been impossible for me. If I would have started my writing career with trying to write that big space saga time travel fantasy story with all the characters and locations and plots and subplots and side plots, I would have never finished it. I would have gotten discouraged, and more than just the regular levels of discouragement that an author gets when writing a book, and I would have never finished. But I did finish. I stuck to an outline and wrote a short, 30,000 word novella about a dragon that attacks a Viking village every 10 years and a young, soon-to-be chief who has to deal with it. The goal of the first book wasn't to tell a story that would blow everyone's mind with its originality. The goal was to learn what it felt like to write a book, to finish a book, period. So, shelf that space saga, pick one of your simpler story ideas, and write a book you can finish in the next 12 months. Until next time, jump, build, fly. This video's featured indie book is Bellhammers by Lance Schaubert. Bellhammers is an episodic novel about carpenters taking on an oil company using practical jokes and is based on interviews with the author's grandfather. Pick up your copy of Bellhammers today.